Are you boys and girls saying it's time to use the chainsaw on one of these losers? Ha ha ha! Yeah!
Are you ready?
Ha ha! It has begun! Yeah! Finally, the Analogue 3D versus the M64. Something we've all really been waiting for. Here today, once in a lifetime, the battle. Console versus console. Controller versus controller. Who will win? Ha ha ha! That's right, folks, because we're doing something really different, more different than any other channel out there. You know how I do it. It's crazy. Oh, yeah! So, if you like, subscribe, or whatever to the channel, check out the playlist. Who cares, right? Let's get to the story. We got something really, really cool to show you. In fact, we're going to start this video out with something really cool. First, let's go to the Blacklight situation. Ha 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 ha! Yeah, yeah! To the Blacklight we have become. So, finish him is how it goes. Controller versus controller. Which one looks cooler? Well, as you can see, in the Blacklight, they don't look too much better. Yeah, well, I was expecting a lot more from these guys. Oh, but I do like how the inside of this ring kind of lights up. Looks kind of cool. That's because there's underlay stuff that's probably white or so, maybe green. So, they both look kind of different in the Blacklight. But when it comes to consoles, it just so happens that this one right here has some sort of strange outline versus the M64. And I thought this was really cool. So let's check this out and compare these things. As you can see, there's nothing really special with this M64. Can you see anything? Nah, it kind of has a light hue to it, but it's just not really there. Yeah, there's nothing really there with the M64. It's too dark red. But this one, in a Blacklight, actually looks kind of cool. You can't see it because the actual cameras can't really pick up the spectrum that well. But there's this really cool accent and rim around this whole thing. It's got this like rim, and you can almost kind of see it in the video, you know? So whenever you look at it, it actually has this trace like neon effect, and it looks really cool. Whenever you look at it, it looks like a gummy candy. Think of like gummy sprites from Fortnite. It kind of has a gummy look to it. Like it's like gummy. It's really cool because in my lighting, I can actually see this rim lit up a lot more than what you see it. So the camera is actually, you know, that's at fault. No matter what camera you use, I've already tried it on different cameras and on different phones. No matter what you do, it's still, you know, you don't get to see the full spectrum of what you actually see. Unless if you have a color blindness. So, who wins that battle? We already know. The Analogue looks cooler, but the Trident controller from M64 looks pretty cool. It's hard to say. It's a toss-up. But as far as the consoles go, obviously, the Analogue 3D wins the Blacklight battle. Now, let's get into the stories and everything else, and then testing with gameplay. Ha 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 ha!
Finish him!
Ha ha! Weighing in at just 1.8 pounds, the Analogue 3D. And it's Kataprasa, the M64, weighing in at 1.6 pounds, just slightly lighter. Comes to be. Ha ha! So here we are tonight, and we're discussing why. Why does this console mean anything? Well, it sure does. Because This is starting a revolutionary war against machines. Yes, the Terminator is here, people. Ha ha ha! Now, whenever you grab your console, you'll obviously notate that both of these consoles, one does feel more heavy than the other, just slightly. It's very slight, but this Analogue does way more. And that's because it's got a whole heck of a lot more in there. Yeah. Now, what wins the sleek design? Well, the sleekest design obviously goes to the Analogue 3D. And the controller is actually very lightweight compared to their controller. So it's kind of like a mix match of who would win that situation. This controller is actually pretty heavy compared to this thing. This thing is like a feather. So, the 8-bit Do controller is really awesome. These controllers, believe it or not, they work perfect. And I actually prefer playing my N64 games with this thing. And I hate to tell you this. I really hate to say this. I know you guys are fans of the classic. Like, hey, I'm a classic fan. You know, well, that's great. But I hated this frickin' controller. The reason being is because I had to like switch over here and then switch over here. And then you're like switching to here and 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 switching your butt off. Yeah. Which was ridiculous. And I mean ridiculous. When it came to stuff, I mean, I was playing PlayStation because of that controller. That's right. I'm sorry I had to say it. It breaks wind in your face tonight. But this one, I've been playing some of the games, and I'm not recording all of them, which I probably should, but this controller is unbelievably awesome. I haven't had it die or get low on battery at all. I don't understand what's going on there. It feels great, and I'm able to do everything in the game without any problems. It is so perfect, I don't know what to say. I have zero problems with that. Now, there is something we need to talk about, the little ghost in the room. So, the 8-bit Do controller actually is a Bluetooth 5.0. And so that means that it's going to be a hair slower than this controller. But the problem is this controller is like at the same speed. This controller is not even available to have what they've all been talking about, which Modretro has been boosting about for a while, and him and his team and whatever. Well, they say that their controller is going to have the ability to do SCI, and SCI is faster than BLE, okay? So these things probably don't mean anything to you, but, and they sure as heck don't mean anything to me because the games are only so fast, okay? If you overclock the games on both of these systems, then you might need a controller that can be overclocked a little bit too, but to be honest, the game is only so fast. It's only going to be able to move so fast, you know? Because that's just how it is. So their claim with Modretro is that their Trident controller will be ultra fast and beat everybody in speed, ultra low latency. Well, the problem is it's not available yet. We're waiting for the update. We're waiting for an update. We're shipping something that actually doesn't have the ability yet. Well, see, Analogue, they didn't really know where to go and where they were going to go. They were going to do as much as they could and release it as fast as they could. Same thing with Modretro. But Modretro had time to work on these things and make them happen. So Modretro is cheaper, but their controller is way overpriced. So it's kind of like a crisscross once again. You know, the Analogue 3D being so much better and more performance-wise. You know, he's like, we're going to put an AMD processor in there for the graphics. Well, there's a problem here. That AMD is going to take a crap. Chinese electronics last long time, buddy. Vietnamese, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure they outsourced from Taiwan on the processor. So, yeah, that's where everybody's getting their stuff, I guess. But anyways, the point being here is this console costs more, this console costs less, this controller costs way more, this controller costs way less. Now, the speed for this controller is kind of confusing to people, but there is SCI, which is faster, and then there's BLE, which is like some sort of Bluetooth 5.0 or your basics, right? Well, in order for this controller to do that, it would have to have the 6.x Bluetooth built in. I'm not too sure what the heck it has because they don't release everything, but yet they've remained pretty transparent on a lot of their stuff. So 8-Bit Do has been making controllers and stuff forever. In fact, 8-Bit Do makes a lot of the products for almost everything out there, and they've been doing it for years. 8-Bit Do actually made this console for Analogue, but we're not talking about that. But 8-Bit Do actually, they are like out there in Hong Kong, not too far down the street from Analogue themselves. Analogue in that entire area over there, it's almost like there's a ton of bilingual people. A lot of them speak English over there in Hong Kong. They're bilingual. They speak fluently. I'm not lying to you. That whole area has been partial English speaking for a very long time. It has something to do with like Britain or something. So whenever you go down there to that part of Hong Kong, you'll actually see signs that are written in English. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? There's like all these food places and, everything. I mean, people speak English over there. It's crazy. I don't know. But anyways, so the controller here, as far as Analogue goes, it's only 226 grams, which the actual tread-in controller weighs like a freaking pound. So we're going to get into some really cool stuff here. Other than specs, everybody tries to do their channel and do their videos really cool. Well, we got something really cool for you today, boy. We're going to cut it down. Oh, yeah. So, obviously, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, right now, M64, if you're going affordable, that's going to be the cheaper version. But there's a problem. This Analogue 3D unbelievably beats it down on graphics in solid pixels. The pixels for the M64 are moving all over the place. They're not as stable. They're not professionally done. Both of these consoles are both kind of emulating. They're actually, they say they're not going to emulate, but yet it's emulating. It's upscaling and juicing it up, trying to win that battle. Well, unfortunately, in this situation, you're about to find out what I'm going to show you screen by screen, side by side, the Zelda test. Which one looks better? And so we're going to do both Zeldas side by side, showing you the difference in quality for both of the Zelda games. We're going to do the low resolution Zelda and then the higher resolution Zelda. I can tell you right now, the Analogue wins as far as graphics and looks. I mean, they were prepared for this. They've had time to come out with their updates. M64, and 2 weeks later, we're still waiting on an additional update. Now, both of these systems have been updated and fully to their max. And we're going to have to give M64, 4 months and see if they have the ability to do what the Analogue 3D. Well, they should have already been ready for this. They should have been testing a lot more. Instead, they've been, But what's really cool is, if you've made it in this far into the video, I always release secrets in all of my videos. So, obviously, the M64 has a cool outer box. But yet, their box still comes black. But it is real cool how they put the design on it. But it seems like everything over there from over in that land seems to come in black boxes. I'm not understanding that. Maybe it's like recycled paper. But what's really strange is the Analogue. You can see me. The Analogue comes in a black box.
Finish him! Click on Zombie Apocalypse.